Roja was the first Mani Ratnam film that I watched. Yeah, I think like everybody else. I mean, in the sense that if you're I mean, I don't think that I was fortunate enough to watch Nayakan or his earlier films. I discovered Mani Ratnam through Roja. I discovered Mani Ratnam through the music of Roja. I discovered Mani Ratnam through the the incredible film that Roja was. Madhu, Arvind Swamy, Pankaj Kapoor. And only after that did I understand कि after that there was Regal Cinema में Tiruda Tiruda was released. And then before you know it, we were watching everything. We were watching every single film of his.
But what is that Mani Ratnam style of filmmaking that includes your cinema?
Courage, fearlessness, I hope so. I mean, I'm saying it very, I say courage and fearlessness. It's something that I've just discovered myself as a filmmaker, that that we get so bogged down by what we think that the audience wants, and the audience. I think Mani Ratnam is. There's a lovely saying by Steven Spielberg. He says that it is not our job to give the audiences what they want. It is our job to tell the audiences what they want. मतलब ये मुझे लगता है कि मनी रत्नम सेज कि ये कहानी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये कहानी बोलना बहुत ज़रूरी है, और वो पिक्चर बनाता है. ही डजंट केयर अबाउट कि पिक्चर चलेगी नहीं चलेगी, क्यों चलेगी, कैसे चलेगी, कौन बोलेगा, क्या बोलेगा, कितने धरने होंगे नहीं होंगे. ही डजंट केयर अबाउट ऑल दैट. ही डिसाइड्स टू मेक द फिल्म. ही डिसाइड्स टू टेल द फिल्म फ्रॉम हिज हार्ट एंड from somewhere very deep inside him, and he tells it. That's what I think is something that I think is I've discovered now. I think that Mani Ratnam should do that from the first film that he made. Yeah, I mean that's why I said that that's the whole concept of fearlessness, right? Courage. You don't make Bombay, which is Hindu Muslim. You make Roja, which is a love story but is set against the Kashmir backdrop, where one of the most riveting scenes is the scene between Arvind Swamy and Pankaj Kapoor, where you're seeing actually a terrorist, Pankaj Kapoor, who's playing a terrorist, actually talking about the point of view and talking about the plight of the Kashmiri people. You see, whether you see Iruvar, whether you see Kannathil Mutta Mutta, which deals with adoption, which deals with the Sri Lankan, the strife in Sri Lanka. If you, I mean, Alay Payate deals with so much, with marriage, and talks about young marriage, and talks about young couples, talks about sacrifice. So, I think that I don't think that he would make a film which is Nayakan. On the surface, it's a mob epic, but actually, it's a story of a man who basically, I mean, it's about survival. Nayakan at the end of the day is about survival in every way, right? A guy who basically, his father is a union leader who's killed by a corrupt police officer, who kills the corrupt police officer, and then has to deal with that constantly. So I think that I don't think any Mani Ratnam film can be made without a socio-political message. It's part of his oeuvre, it's part of his being, it's part of himself, it's part of what he is. Intelligence. I would say intelligence. I would say the fact that when you go in to see a Mani Ratnam film, you think that you're going to watch a mainstream film with great music and great visuals, but you come out thinking. You think about the story, you think about the character, you think about the choices the character made, you think about the choices that he as a director has taken. So intelligence. He's a very intelligent person when you meet him, when you speak with him. And I think that, intelligence, big time. Yeah, Train and Rain, and Machardani. He loves Machardani, right? Machardani is there, part of this thing. So Train, I think trains are, I mean, whether you see the first ever film made in the world, right, is a train pulling into a station, right? Dumiya brothers made that as the first ever moving image ever. So trains is a very big part of his. I think he uses that to connect stories. In Dalapati, there's an incredible sequence where both of them on either side of the tracks and the train is going in between them. Yeah, he uses trains as a metaphor of people of different characters making different choices. And Rain, he's obsessed with Rain, and obviously he surrounds himself with great DOPs who know how to capture Rain so effectively. I made a mistake yesterday. I said that when Mani Ratnam starts a film, he calls up his assistants and he says, "I'm starting a film," And Bijoy corrected me and said that he doesn't call up, they call him up and say, how can we come in, how can we assist you. So they are all filmmakers, they are storytellers, they are directors in their own right. They are all very successful directors, Shad and Victor and Bijoy, and but I think that is that sense. That's the reason why you have that's the reason why G5 is doing a Mani Ratnam retrospective. Last year when we did the Irfan Khan retrospective, we thought very hard as to who can we bring on board as somebody who is who's going to be a follow up to what Irfan is in cinema. And the first name that came up was Mani Ratnam. Because he has such a huge fan following, not only in the industry but outside the industry also. So to choose these 7 films, we had fights. Which 7 films to show, which films should we show, which we not show, which should we keep out, which should not keep out. My favorite film is Roja, and somebody else's favorite film is Kannathil Muttamittal, somebody else's Dalapati. So we really had to choose, Guru. So yeah. Nayakan, I think. I saw it again yesterday, and it holds up after 40 years. After 40 years, every frame holds up. I was shocked as to how many contemporary filmmakers have actually not just borrowed, they've just copied his that film. So yeah, I think Nayakan, super. In Roja itself, when she is going to the police station and she's trying to tell them, and they don't speak the same language. It's such a simple scene, and it's such a simple thought, but it's such an incredible scene. Great performance, yeah. Oh, Tu Hi Re. Incredible song. Incredibly short, beautifully. This thing, it's like Kalona ka song, na? Which is that you just have to sing the first 2 words and you can sing the full song. Yeah, Tu Hi Re, incredible.